Yeah, so the Sportster clutch basket is like egg shaped, and I'm going to try and, it's like, because it's only got those grooves worn in 2 spots, so I was going to try and belt it more round and then give it a skim in the lathe. Like if I, from this groove, if I go down, it's actually tapered as well, like it's narrow at the top and the bottom, so if I took a light cut out of it, I might be able to save it. But failing that, I've found another one. Like this one would have had the gear for the electric start, but somebody's machined it off because I've got an XLCH without electric start. But this one is extra thin here, like the other ones seem a lot chunkier. Yeah, my plan's going to be machine up a mandrel which goes into here to hold it by the bearing, and then I'll put a spot of weld on that bearing to lock it up, or jam something in it to machine out the drum, because there's no other way to hold it. Yeah, so there's 2 high spots on the basket here and here, so it's got a bit of a wobble. I've given it a smack with a hammer, but it's been hardened. It's really hard, and it's just bouncing. So I think that's probably how it was like from factory. I'll give it another smack, but failing that, I'll lock up that bearing and give it a like cut on the inside. I would really like another one, but I can't really afford one. They're really expensive for a new one. Yeah, gave that a bit of a spin out, and then I've got a little bit of a die grind. Yeah, it's better. Oh, it's actually pretty good now, but yeah, I'll see how the plates slide in that. I had to use the die grinder because the cutter for some reason was following a couple of the grooves, and then so I had to smooth them out a bit with that. And I radiused the corners and all of that, and a few little burrs where that circlip went, I've ground them off. But yeah, I'd like to find a new basket. This one's not the best. And I'm going to give this a bit of a tidy up as well. It's got a couple, like, those dings. Plates could hang up in there or something. I'll give that a wide brush, and then I might run the die grinder into that. These are real. That basket is really hard. It's been hardened so hard. I couldn't even, hammer it, just springs back. This seems to have a lot of high spots on this outer edge. I don't need to give it a grind, I just give it a file, but this is quite hard as well. On the kickstart, there's this spring here, and this one's like almost worn through there. And so it's pretty weak, but I got another one last night, so I'll chuck that in because, yeah, the kickstart was popping out and I overextended my knee one time and that really hurt. So, yeah, that needs to be good. Yeah, that gear's not too bad. And if anyone's got a clutch basket, let me know, I'll buy it off you for a 73. Kickstart, non-electric start. It's all blanked off in there. Yeah, that's got heaps more spring on it now. Stop it jumping out and busting my knee. This is really common on, like, people put loads of silicone and then screw in the screws and it hydraulics them and splits them down there. And this is the worst one that was broken out. But I drilled it deeper and tapped it so I can pick up on a few threads. Like, I just don't want to fix this right now. Like your life's too short, and I could if I ever have to rebuild the engine, then I can fix all that. When I first got the bike, I put this Troc cast iron trapdoor on it because it was cracked down there, it had trans blow up and bent shafts and buggered second gear. Yeah, I went through and I deburred and sanded off all the little burrs on the end of the plates where they've been stamped out. I should have done that when I first put it back together, but that was a long time ago, but that's made a hell of a difference. I do it with all the British clutches, so you get new plates, you put them in the lathe, then you take a little skim off them. You have to. Yeah, so that all slides nicely. I got the clutch hub on. So I've got to pull it all off again, but Harley are quite good. They put threads in these on the front sprocket and this clutch hub, so you can use them as jacking screws to get them off, so you don't need a puller. I pulled it all apart again to find why the kickstarter's popping out like it is, and I can't find any problem. Like this, you can't move it because it's on a square on the kickstart lever, and on here it's a squared, not a spline or anything. And so when you kick, this turns, and when it gets to this ramp, it causes this to engage with the teeth on the back of here, and then when you get to here, it pulls it back in again. And yeah, where it pops out, it's getting to the bit where it pulls it in again. And also there's a sort of a half circle cut into here on the back of this gear with a pin. So then that's fixed, so you can't move anything. So it appears it's supposed to pop out, but like it'll pop your knee back. Okay, back on track. The Kickstarter's supposed to do that. It didn't really do it before, but that's because that spring was bad, and then I ended up, it chomped the spring, you can see here, and then so it broke, and then so I've rebent it, and it actually works even better than before now. Like, it was too long and that got tangled everywhere, but anyway, can commence assembling the clutch. I've filed everything, smoothed it all out, no dags or burrs, and I won't really show, but yeah, it's quite laborious putting oil on the plates, sliding them in. I'll show a little bit of it. Friction, steel, friction. Don't forget these spacers, put them first, because otherwise you won't get them in. Then it has a one-sided thick steel plate friction which goes on the very end, and then the snap ring. Make sure that sits in the groove very well. There's this heavy duty clutch spring, or springs. I had a Barnett single spring. It was like extra high pressure, but that caused that backing plate to distort. So then this is a stock double spring, and that's the outer plate. I bought that second hand because the other one was all welded up and destroyed around these holes. Tell you a boring story about how this bike came about. I was like 21. And all my friends had fast sports bikes, and I didn't have any money. And then I bought a Suzuki GS 750 Katana, and it was an old piece of crap. But then I wanted a faster, nicer bike, and then I bought this old Harley, and everyone laughed at me for some reason. I don't know why I bought this, but I bought it. And then anyway, they're all dead from those bikes, all of them. And yeah, my old piece of crap never ran. Or it did run, but yeah. I wasn't out being maniacs at 3 in the morning. Then there's this fine tool I made to, it's actually a pile of crap, but yeah, that's to squeeze down that spring to get the pressure plate and the nuts on. They say life is like an Ironhead Sportster. You never know what shit it's gonna give you next. So the dingaling being me who made this pressure, what do you call it, clutch compressor, didn't put this in the center of that, so I have to shove this thing in there. Makes it 10 times harder. I have to put the phone down for this one. To do up that nut on the tensioner, you're going to need one of these. It's like a crow's foot, but it's like a, I don't know what you call them. I found that in just a pile of crap. This is my theory with this ball and ramp system. Like, you can't get it better than maximum lift. Because if you go over center, it's going to jam, and then you got to take the cover off to free it. So, my plan, people are going to hate it, but you set up the adjuster so when the lever's pulled in, you're at maximum, like it. There's probably even too much that's gone over. But yeah, you want to set it till it's at maximum with the lift, with the cover off. And then you can't get it any more better, and then just set the free play with this adjuster, and I think, yeah, that's as good as you could get it. Yeah, as always, it turned into a nightmare and I stopped filming because I was so pissed off. It's like standing in a puddle of piss up to your neck. They say life is like an Ironhead Sportster. You never know what shit it's gonna give you next.